Hey guys, welcome back. So today, I have officially finished my sketchbook, so we're gonna go through it and have a little fun and see some of my arty skills, as well as some of my older stuff, which I haven't, because this book is literally 3 years old, because I'm really bad at finishing sketchbooks, so that's how long this took me, 3 years. I was pretty determined to finish it this year. I was sick of it, but at the same time I'm like, I'm proud it's done. So it's seen a lot of changes and a lot of weirdness over the years, but I think it turned out really nice in the end. So every year I have made a new little cover piece for it. So this is the 2019 one. I don't know if you can see the little 2019 on it, but it's right there. So yeah, that's, and every time it's a wolf with wings. I don't know why, it just is. It's kind of my default when I don't know what to draw. So opening it up right away, here's my original signature. I kind of ripped it off by accident when I wasn't meaning to, so I had to tape it back on because I beat up the corner so much that they were peeling and it was bad. I abuse my sketchbooks. It's horrible, I know, but it just kind of happens. So yeah, they're all taped up and everything. My first credit card, I just cut it up and I liked that piece, so I was like, I'm putting that in my sketchbook, so I did. And then these little things, little tabs, I'm gonna have to move them onto my new sketchbook. So I'm either mark them with a smiley face or a heart, and if it's a heart, it means that I really liked that piece for whatever reason. I want to like kind of tag as like one of my best ones in this little sketchbook. And then the smiley face one is I either really like the idea of it, or it just didn't quite turn out maybe like what I wanted, or I didn't ever get to finish it, but for some reason I really liked it, the idea of it, and I want to explore it some more. And then this little sketchbook didn't have a little pocket or anything, so I just took this little note card or envelope and put it in there, and in here, a piece of watercolor paper that I never used, and then my original covers. So this one was my first ever cover. There we go. Yeah, this is my first ever cover. Little wolfy dude. This was an attempt of this year's cover. I didn't like it, so I just threw it in there. And then this is this year's, or 2018's cover. So it kind of looked like that. Yeah. Looked like that. So every year it's a wolf with wings. This year I decided to do color instead, so I keep those in there and try to remember them. But so yeah, and it's always just good to keep little pieces of whatever in there, ideas. I usually didn't use it, but it was just nice to keep those somewhere safe, or at least as safe as they can be, because my sketchbooks get abused, and there is no question to it, as you will see how taped up this thing is. This is a little masky dude. Here's my original little thumbnail. And this is hearted because I really loved the mask and like the background. This is a piece of printer paper, and I just put colored pencil, and then I watercolored the background, which is, I mean, this paper is not meant for watercolor, but it works, so why not? I was watching a lot of Danica Sills, who is an artist on YouTube, and she does a lot of these little swirly dudes. Like, that's kind of like, I've noticed is kind of her thing. Like, her hair, whenever she draws hair, it's really swirly like this. I think she was drawing a lot of candles when I watched her at the time, so she had a lot of these, like, smoke things and stuff like that, like... Okay, this one was fun. So, this, I was into How to Train Your Dragon a lot at the time, and I decided that if I were gonna have a dragon, it would be a Skrill. And so I drew me with a Skrill. Well, I don't really know if that's me, but it's a trainer dude. With their pet Skrill, and this took me like a week to finish, because it's all ink. So, that's the top half. So, like, there's a little dude. And this is one of my favorites still, as you can tell by the little heart tab. And here's the bottom, the tail, and the water. And this is still one of my favorites to this day. I love this one with, like, all my heart. And I think it's still really cool, because it just showed that you can do a lot with black and white, and just with whatever you have. Is a long story, but basically I ran cross country freshman, sophomore, and junior year. I don't know if I'll be doing it senior year, but yes, I am a runner. It's insane. I don't know why I do it to myself. And we always have every year for state this kind of thing where it's like we draw our or where we make up these stupid mascots or something, and we do it that way. I don't think I was in state that year. Yeah, I was. I was in state freshman year. Or was this technically sophomore year? I think this is technically sophomore year, even though it's 2017. Yes, so this is sophomore year, where I made it to state. And so we had a joke to where our mascot was a goat, because one of the girls really loved goats that year. We have Jolene, the plant, because Jolene. And she was a mess. She died a few times, so we tried to tape her stem back together, and it didn't work out very well, but oh well. And then we have our little stick with a bunch of plastic tied to it, and it had puffy paint on it. And then one of the main things was, we had, cancer awareness for one of our teacher's kids. So it was like Emma Strong, I think it was Emma Strong, basically, where the little girl had cancer. So every race we'd all draw a mark on our hand for that race, and it was the cancer sign. And I always would bring highlighters, and I'd color mine in pink and purples and make it all pretty, and we'd all do Emma Strong on our arms. We literally gave ourselves tattoos. We always do before races, because it's kind of like a confidence thing, where it's like, you would put like, be tougher, or don't look down on your hands, and it's like when you're running, you see whatever's on your hand, and it keeps pushing you, because cross country's not easy. It's not easy. And then I had all of us sign it that were racing that year. And then this is my signature at the time, where it was like an H mixed with an E, and it kind of evolved into my new one. So yes, scribbles. So there's actually a story behind this. I didn't just get mad at my sketchbook and throw a bunch of colors down. So I worked with special needs kids during sophomore year, and there was this one girl, Jennifer, who loved to draw. She couldn't speak very well, but she knew a little sign language, like yes and no, but she was very unable to say a lot of things, but she was super sweet, and she always loved to draw. She had her certain way. It was like nines. It's kind of how she drew. And so that's partly why I finished these so quickly, is because I wanted to have 2 pages of just where she could draw, and I didn't care about whatever was under it, and I just wanted it to be hers. And so yeah, Jennifer, she is super cute, and I miss working with them, but I didn't have room in my schedule this year, next year. So, here I was trying to draw humans. Again, if you haven't noticed, there's like no humans in this whole thing until like now. There's a rectangle, a heart, a triangle, and a circle, and I try to make human faces out of all those shapes. Here is one of my first attempts ever at Inktober. I had taken a bunch of printer paper, stapled it together, and made myself a sketchbook with exactly the amount of days for Inktober. Although I didn't finish it. One of my issues that I struggle with is other people judging my art, and I enjoy kind of drawing kind of weird, crazy, scary stuff sometimes, and it was October, so I was definitely in the mood for that. And I had mixed Inktober with Goretober a little bit, and I had some people who told me that I shouldn't be drawing things like that, so I ended up throwing it away. Well, I had some of these paintings or drawings, and they were like my best that I've ever drawn, and I threw them away because I let others tell me what I should and shouldn't draw. And this is the only one that I kept out of those. I had actually thrown away the other ones, and then I had, these were all in black and white originally. I put watercolor on top of it afterwards. I was devastated, truthfully, by how people had judged my artwork, and I've learned over time not to let people judge me for what I draw. Valra, my Star Wars character person, who is awesome and I love her so much. I've redesigned her recently. I don't know if I can... Ah! Okay. Dropping things off my corkboard. This is sort of one of the versions of her when she's a little older. As you can tell, her markings are different. Her hair stays the same depending on what age she is. So, yeah. That's that. And she has this little gold mark, so I decided to do that. So the first one was just this random girl with flowers. It's not really my... I don't know why so many flowers. I don't usually draw flowery things, but it happened. So yeah, cute little girl with flowers. And then a rhino. I love rhinos. They're like my favorite animal right now. And I usually don't pick favorite animals, but I got to work with rhinos at the zoo because I take classes there, high school classes. I take half a day at the zoo and the other half of the day is at normal school. And I got to work with the rhinos one day.
And they're so cute. Like, they're just giant puppy dogs that want you to love on them. Like, it's amazing. Like, I love them so much. They make me happy. Like, they're so sweet. They're literally giant dogs and they just want you to scratch them and they're so sweet.
So, that was fun. And they're so sweet. And and then I got to feed the Asian ones, I think, popcorn for enrichment. I mean, it had no flavoring or anything to it. It was just pure popcorn. Like, there was nothing on it. Yeah. And then here's a random little horsey dude. So these two pages are glued together because whatever I don't even remember what happened, but I hated the page that was in there. So that got glued together. So here is a girl's face. So this is one of my characters, Trinity? I think I named her Trinity. Let's see. This is one of my super old sketchbooks where I just made characters when I was younger. I have a few characters in here. Let's see if I can find her. No, that's my dragon lady. No. Where is she? Is she back? Aha, here she is. Yeah, that's her. What is her name? Yeah, it's Trinity. Okay, Trinity Briar. That's her name. And she's basically a ripoff of Ghost Rider, only her head doesn't flame up, so that's fun. And I actually really am happy with how this turned out. Again, I used my Artez watercolors for, not watercolors, my Artez brush pens, watercolor pens for like the outlines, and the darker pen, and my crappy cheap watercolors that I don't like, but yet I still use them. And then I actually really love this style. I kind of want to do this style more for my humans. I'm really happy with this one. It's like one of my favorites. You can tell by the smiley face. And I love it. I like the eye, how it's like the only thing that's orange is the eye, and then there's a little bit of shading over here and there, just to add a little contrast and something.
I really love this one. I love how I drew her hair. Like, I drew her hair nicely. The only thing I wish is that her eyes were proportional. They're not.
tinfoil. So, this next one is my absolute favorite, or at least one of my absolute favorites of the sketchbook. I am so mad that I never recorded this one because I loved it so much. It turned out so beautiful. I have a thing where I love space. Space is my favorite thing on Earth. On Earth? Technically it's not on Earth. Oh dang. Space is my Space is my favorite thing that I know about, I guess I could say. And I was really into, I always have these dreams where I'm in a rocket and all of a sudden we take off and it's like I literally start shaking. It's probably my dog just shaking my bed. And I start shaking and then all of a sudden I'm in space and then I wake up before I get to like float around or do anything fun. And I still partly want to be an astronaut. I don't know how I would do that, but I do really want to go into space somehow, some way. I think it would be amazing. And so I drew like the astronaut like picking a flower, cause you know, space. All of a sudden there's flowers in it. I like how I transitioned from this like Mars looking atmosphere to where you can see this footprints and everything. It's all of a sudden lush and green and like there's a river in the background and it's like there's green everywhere and it's super pretty, and this is one of my favorites by far. Plus with the tinfoil background just next to it, it kind of matches and it's literally one of my favorites, which is why I put the little heart sticking out thing. So here, I got mad at the world this day, and I decided to paint a bunch of crap everywhere. So here was me getting ready for Valentine's Day. I didn't draw on Valentine's Day, and I was trying to make a video of it, but it didn't work out. I have multiple Valentine's Day paintings that didn't work out because I forgot to record them, or my thing just decided it didn't want to record them. So there's like a thing where you take, I actually just decided, you know how like those Dove chocolates have like the little sayings on the inside? Well, I decided to paint something based off that. So it says, "Go where your heart takes you." And so I drew a little explorer lady with a heart-shaped rock behind her. So yeah. This was a fun one. See, I used my washi tape. I realized that washi tape doesn't stick. And that was a pain in the butt. So I didn't know this, but yeah, washi tape peels. So I glued this piece onto the next page. And this is not the drawing, by the way. So I decided to bring out my charcoals. I use like these little willow sticks and some other charcoals. I have a box full of charcoals. And I decided to, so it started off really weird, where it was like, I want to draw these two people like being blown apart from one another, and then it didn't necessarily work out when I thumbnailed it, so then I drew like a person kind of huddled up with someone watching over them. It's like a guardian, and then I ended up with a girl being protected by an animal, or like someone curled up in a ball and the animal next to them like protecting them, like stalking around them, and then I ended up just drawing them sleeping. So it went from two people to a lion and a lady or dog or something. Not a dog, it's a human, just hanging out sleeping together and all cute. So this one comes off, the one on the bottom does not. This is just to keep it from smearing, but yeah, see, there's my lion, there's my girl. This is the official last page. I am sad. It's goodbye sketchbook, nice knowing ya. 2017-2019. There's sorta me. My hair's darker than that. There's a random dragon, doggo, rhino, Valra, Mr. Cuttlebug, horse, spider, and my little sketchbook is right there. So yeah, that is my sketchbook tour. It is officially done. It won't even like stay closed. Like, this is 3 years of my life all right here, and I finally finished it. So I have a new sketchbook that I'm working on, or at least I started it. It's this little buffalo. I got it from my parents I think bought it for me from South Dakota, and it was like from the state park. I don't know which one. There's like 15 state parks, but I had like this little test page where I just drew all over it, and color pencil shows up really nicely. Watercolor does not. It does not take water whatsoever, so I did not do that. Yeah. This is the first page that I did, just for fun, and then I'm working on this polar bear. And that's about all I have in my new sketchbook. This one should be quicker to fill, considering it's a little bit smaller, but I'm excited to work with the smooth paper and the tones. So, yeah. I hope you guys all really enjoyed this video, and thank you so much for watching. Bye!